I never imagined that pressing a panic button would throw my entire neighborhood into chaos. Or that it would lead to criminal charges against our HOA president. But that's exactly what happened, when Karen Whitfield decided she had the right to break into my home with a fake master key, while my 12-year-old son was home alone. What she didn't realize. Every second of it was being recorded. And that footage would take her down. My name is Marcus Chen, a single dad and a software engineer. A few months ago, my son Leo and I moved into Willowbrook Estates, a quiet, gated community that I hoped would give us peace, safety, and a fresh start. What we got instead was Karen Whitfield. The HOA president who thought her volunteer title made her queen of the neighborhood. She introduced herself just hours after we moved in, clipboard in hand, giving our moving boxes the side eye, and tossing out thinly veiled warnings about maintaining standards. At first, I chalked it up to typical HOA politics. But that changed the day she saw Leo walking home alone from the bus stop. As I was unloading groceries, Karen marched up and said, "Single fathers often struggle with child supervision. Maybe you should look into after-school care." I told her Leo was 12, mature for his age, and I worked remotely, monitoring him through our smart home system. She gave me a tight-lipped smile that didn't quite reach her eyes, and walked away. But I knew right then, this wasn't the end. A few days later, she knocked again. This time claiming HOA rules prohibit kids under 16 from being home alone. I asked to see the bylaw. She said it was under revision. It never showed up. What did show up was Karen's SUV. Every weekday, around 3:45 p.m., she'd either cruise slowly past our house or park across the street, just watching. Leo, creeped out, once asked, "Dad, is she trying to kidnap me?" That's when we started documenting everything. Timestamps, photos, ring footage, just in case. Still, nothing could have prepared us for what happened one Tuesday in October. I was locked in a video meeting with Japanese clients when alerts started blowing up my phone. Motion detected at the front door. Failed key entry attempt. Unknown voice detected. Then, Karen's voice came through our smart speaker. "Open this door immediately." I pulled up the camera feed, and saw her jamming a key into our lock. She was yelling that she was performing a welfare check as HOA president. Leo, completely calm, activated our emergency lockdown system, blocking all doors and windows and triggering full video recording. He called me and said, "Dad, that Karen lady is trying to get in. She says she has a key, but it's not working." "You did the right thing," I told him. "Stay put. I'm watching everything." Through the speaker, I told Karen she was trespassing and needed to leave immediately. That's when she made her biggest mistake. She called 911, claiming there was an abandoned child inside in danger. I called 911 myself and explained what was actually happening. The dispatcher told me officers were already on the way. I dropped everything and raced home. Those 15 minutes felt like hours. When I pulled up, 2 police cruisers were already in front of my house. Karen was pacing on the porch, waving her phone and ranting. Leo calmly told the officers through our Ring cam, "I'm okay. I'm doing homework. I don't want to open the door to a stranger." Karen pointed at me as I got out of my car. "That's the father. He abandoned his child." One of the officers, Martinez, turned to me and said, "Sir, can we hear your side?" "Of course," I said, pulling out my actual key and unlocking the door. Karen's master key was still dangling from her hand, completely useless. The officers stepped inside and found Leo sitting at the kitchen table, pencil in hand, doing homework. He even waved. They confirmed he had food, water, communication access, everything a child needs. Then, I showed them the footage. Karen trying to force her way in. Calling 911 while visibly angry, not concerned. When Officer Thompson asked her where the key came from, her story crumbled. It was from a maintenance visit months ago, for emergencies. You duplicated a homeowner's key without permission, he asked. It's HOA policy, she muttered. Then show us the policy, Officer Martinez said. She couldn't. That's when I showed them everything we'd collected. Dates and times of her surveillance runs, screenshots of her harassment, and even video from our neighbor, Mrs. Rodriguez, who recorded Karen sitting in her car, watching our house for over 20 minutes. The officers turned to Karen, and now the words being used were false report, unlawful entry, trespassing. She turned pale. When they asked again if any bylaw gave her the right to enter someone's home, she mumbled that the document was at her house. Officer Thompson didn't flinch. No HOA agreement overrides state law. Ma'am, you're being cited. You can't do that, she snapped. I'm the president. Doesn't matter, Officer Martinez replied, handing her the citation. I told them I'd be pressing charges. When I mentioned my lawyer, Karen looked like she might faint. At the next HOA meeting, which was packed, I brought my attorney, Jacob Morrison, who specializes in HOA cases. He laid out the facts in detail. Karen sat stiffly at the head of the table, silent now. Even her board allies had nothing to say. Jacob exposed everything, from the unauthorized key copy to the emotional damage she caused my son and the misuse of police resources. We requested a full key audit. That's when the HOA treasurer admitted, Karen had never received board approval for any key policy. The secretary produced minutes showing her proposal to enter homes had been officially denied. The vote of no confidence was unanimous. Even her supporters turned on her. Karen stood up, furious. You'll regret this. Without me, this place will fall apart. And stormed out. But it didn't stop there. Karen was fined $5,000 for filing a false police report. Charged with misdemeanor unlawful entry. Her real estate license was suspended. We filed a civil lawsuit, and won $15,000. She was banned from holding any HOA position again. And a restraining order was issued, she can't come within 100 feet of our home. I'll never forget the court hearing. As the judge listed her offenses one by one, Karen just stood there, no power, no authority, no fake smile. When the bailiff read out her probation terms, she finally broke down. And to think, all of it started because my 12-year-old son knew how to press a panic button. If you agree that no one, not even an HOA president, should ever have a master key to your home, hit that like button. And if you love seeing entitled power get put in its place, subscribe to HOA Vault, where we uncover real stories of HOA horror and hold fake authority accountable. More wild stories, coming soon.